Puts in a massive technical spot, guys. Within the last video, we mentioned this doji candle after this very parabolic squeeze up. We're likely to either squeeze over the top or if broke beneath this level, go and test $100 before bouncing. We have tested $100 for 1, 2, 3 days. Now we have a strong wide bar, a bullish engulfing structure after some very thin price action, indicating that we could see these highs being taken out once again. My name is Dylan from Dylan's Trades. You guys, we're going to get straight to this technical analysis breakdown. First, going over to the weekly analysis. On the weekly analysis, guys, you see a massive cup and handle, which we have been following for quite some time, guys. Notice how we have this very harsh downtrend into a very extended phase of consolidation. We break over the top with bullish momentum, getting this cup-like structure, and then we go down again and up for that cup-like structure. Hence this draw we had from the last video, revisiting these highs, right? If we go and draw up these highs right here. Right, revisiting these highs, we come back, and then we break over the top, guys. This being the breakout. And it's not very applicable as of now, guys. We did break out at $67, so not incredibly relevant. But what we do understand, guys, is that since this breakout, and even a little bit prematurely to it, guys, we've had an incredibly parabolic run on Robinhood markets. And that is very clear looking at the weekly analysis. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks of price action continuation, each week being higher, 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 higher. And I know we got a lot of seasoned guys on the channel. It's very easy, this, from a more beginner to intermediate level, be like, oh, you're looking at the green candles. What have you? Well, we're tracking momentum, guys. Each and every one of these weeks, they're moving higher with a higher close, right? We're continuing to step up. Now we're seeing our first red candle. And, in most situations, guys, obviously, this would be in contention for a green to red reversal, and this is what we've been watching on the hood for quite some time. Hey, we've parabolically sprinted up every single week with no pause. Not one pause. Not one, not two, not three. Nothing. Now we have a red candle, but this is where context matters, guys. I don't think we flip green to red here. I think we actually continue higher. Just being with the story on hood over the last few weeks is that, hey, we're at this big psychological $100 level, hence this trend line being marked up over here. We paused into this for 1 and 2 weeks, patiently waiting at this level, inching higher, and then an explosion. We absolutely skyrocketed 14% once closed above. We mentioned in the last video, we're likely to pull back and test $100 if we can't hold from the medium-term daily analysis. And we didn't. We dropped $100 once again, and we're holding it. So that back test of $100, guys, know that this is the number one data point. You got to feel good about it. And also as well, at one point we had this big bearish candle, and if we exited the week with this strong bearish candle, and we held a little bit below $100 with this big wide bar, yes, that would make sense, guys, from momentum tracking technique, the green to red reversal, that yes, we are going to flip here, perhaps move down to $85. But we have a strong close, guys, where the buyer shoved us all the way back up, almost regaining that $105 level and being well above $100. So just seeing the back test, guys, and how beautifully the buyers have stepped up with this hammer candle, I do think this is actually a consolidation day to have another nice green parabolic week. Within the last update, we mentioned how we're likely to see this. It's a good chance we do have a pullback here. So we want to keep it honest, guys. We're not biased at all. It doesn't help anyone out, playing with their feelings over here. But from a technical perspective, guys, we've seen 1 test, $100, 2 tests, 3 tests, breakout, and now a break and a retest. So I really love this kind of setup, guys, especially for these parabolic stocks. The smart money typically waits on the side to get the retest. So on the weekly analysis, guys, we're very much in a parabolic sprint. Even though we see a red candle reversion, we are led to believe seeing this backtest of this very focal area being at not only a concrete resistance, but that big psychological level being $100 is backed. And retest, we do think will bounce from here. So that is what the weekly analysis looks like, guys. Gotta love what you're looking like on the weekly, despite being very, very intense, a lot of crazy price action. I do think we continue to go, guys. I do. So we're now looking at the daily analysis, guys, and we get a better representation of that green to red reversal, and we've centered our technical analysis lately off this big $100 level before we even solidified it as a very concrete level, right? We rushed into here over here and exactly rejected this level. We expected this to be a focal point over the next few weeks, and that's what it's been. We've held there for 1, 2, 3 days, and then right when we close over, it skyrockets to almost 115, $1 underneath. Then we lose this doji candle low, which we mentioned in the last video. Within these kind of contexts, guys, after this sort of setup, we won't get too into it, but when you leave the doji candle at this spot, if we knife below this low, you're very likely to go revisit the next level, being $100. If broken above, we're likely to push these, $120 levels. We did break beneath this clearly with this red candle, big bearish candle, and we pressed exactly to that level. A break and a retest. And I like on the retest, guys, we had one strong wick defending this level. A very, very thin hammer candle. These are really beautiful to see. Typically offer a lot of nice momentum after. Seen another very similar thin candle to this, being this nice 3-wick test. And now we went over the top with a bullish engulfing, guys. And, despite seeing a little wick on top, this green candle, this close and open, this open and close has completely encapsulated this last body. Not the wick, just the body. These last two bodies have been completely eaten up with this massive wide bar. This is a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, guys. This gives a lot of nice momentum. So got a level we're seeing, typically when you see, once again, just over here, we see this thin price action under these massive levels, it usually leads with some big upside. And this has been a trend on foot over the last few months. So from a daily perspective, guys, we are battling that $105 level roughly, but as of now, I don't think it'll do much. Just seeing the strong 1, 2, 3-day reversal flip. And any sellers who are at the top here trying to time this short, right, they're likely to get out if we see any more momentum squeeze up. As typically you get a lot of short sellers try to, short this on a parabolic Bollinger Band reversion, etc., right? This is a lot of, situational stuff, but notice how we get right above the Bollinger Band. We pull back within a regression trade. It's typically trying to target the blue ascending trend line, but it depends on the setup. Notice over here, we got above it, we pulled back for a little bit. Over here on the doji candle, once again, we got a little bit above that, and now we reverted right back to this level. Now we're showing a lot of bullish signs. So gotta love what you're seeing. We are picking up roughly as well with this ascending channel, right? We have this ascending channel for quite some time in the daily analysis, and it does appear we're picking up within these rough two trend lines, which will make a little bit brighter. We're kind of picking up within this, finding an ascending support. We could move these around a little bit. You guys get the gist, though. On the daily, we got a lot of nice signs. We're testing and rebacking this ascending trend line, this $100 level. And we've seen some thin price action activity into a bullish engulfing pressing up. So despite seeing a little bit of rejection at these higher levels, I am not worried about it. I think Hood looks phenomenal here. So with that being said, guys, we're expecting actually a retest within these upper levels, being 113.44, or at least some reminiscent of a follow through. Until we break below $100, guys, we look really, really good from a buyer perspective. I don't think this is a time to sell. Flipping over to the hourly analysis, guys. Each one of these candlesticks representing 1 hour price action. So we get a very in-depth perspective. And straight away, guys, we do see a pennant structure on the chart. Hence over here, this descending trend line and this ascending trend line. So this is a pretty tight structure where stock price can bobbles between the two, entering a tight range at the bottom, entering the apex, and then it breaks over the top. So this look nice. It's not the most beautiful pennant, which I think will effortlessly squeeze us to these $150 levels. But as of now, we've clearly based out. Once again, we mentioned on the daily, we got really, really thin on this $100 level. And we also did that within this, pennant structure. So we're seeing a double setup where, hey, we're breaking out of this pennant structure, getting tight within these constraints. But we also had a tight range on a key level. So just a lot of nice signs, guys. We had a strong exit within this trading channel. And exiting this pennant range, we broke out, and now it looks like we're coming down, forming a higher low to move higher. So as far as the weekly analysis, guys, it is a little bit unorthodox, centered back here. That we are seeing our first red candle. If we see $100 broken, guys, we can 100% see downside. It's a very good probability. Just saying we've seen this green to red reversal. It's almost like a roller coaster. You're going up, maybe a little bit of a blip, up. But right when you close beneath this low right here, guys, you can see momentum drop. And that's just like stock charts, in the most simple essence, green to red reversions are just a momentum tracker. So if we break below this candle wick on the weekly and these 1, 2, 3, 4 defenses on this $100 level, we can see it pull back likely to $91 or 85. But as of now, guys, they've had a really good probability. We actually just squeezed right back up, and having that extra momentum within that break and retest of $100, guys, it looks good. Flipping over the daily, we see thin price action on that $100 level. And then a bullish engulfing breaking out. A lot of nice price action, especially, knowing that Hood typically breaks out, pulls back to a major level, which we typically broke out of, right? And then we bounce. And we've seen this trend play time and time again with these break and retests. So a lot of nice signs to be seen on the daily analysis. Not too worried about this projection 105. And then last but not least, summing up our hourly analysis, we're breaking out of a pennant structure with this very tight trading range. Pure to form a higher low here, guys. This is a spot where technically we could pull back and still be very healthy if we did pull back to 103.50, a little bit lower, and then formed one of these higher lows to stair step. And that's all we'll be watching on the hourly, forming these higher lows and highs, forming this stair step like structure to eventually revisit these highs. I think there's a very good chance of revisiting 113.44 and breaking that. If you guys found any value in the video today, consider dropping a sub and a like. A little bit of a tricky analysis as Hood has been in a very parabolic stage. We haven't covered Hood since these, $70, $60 levels. So it does get harder the more volatile it gets. But honestly, guys, every single sign is coinciding with a multi-time frame analysis showing more continuation. And what I like about the setup, guys, is once again, if we break from this $100 level clean, it's not a surprise that, hey, likely we're going to hit some stop losses and some short, opportunities, and we do pull back to the next level. But I do think it's unlikely, guys, but we have a very clear parameter we want to watch for a short-term downside. And as of now, we are primed for upside. So once again, if you found any value, we do update Hood about 1 to 2 times per week. So drop a sub, drop a like. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Have a good day. Take care, trade smart, and peace.